Lee offered to like either DM with us or just play a game with us, and we haven't said
Is this how
anything,
we
and I
just
don't
talk
know.
about Lee for 45 minutes?
I mean, Dave says the way we talk with Lee is like that's why it's like he likes those episodes.
We just fangirl the whole time?
We don't all the time,
Okay,
just a
maybe
lot,
you
okay?
aren't, but I'm absolutely just, like, there. I'm there.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Dungeons and Degrees. My name's Adrian,
And I'm Alex.
and today
It's just us.
it is. We haven't had one of these in a while now. I want to say almost back in December. So today we're kind of having a little bit of relaxing. So we're gonna kind of talk about since I don't know if you want to do the beginning, but just like at least since December, right? About
You mean,
what
yeah.
kind let's just do we'll do December. We kind of talk about stuff with the thank you about the rest. So if you want to know like a catalog of like who was on and why we think they're awesome, go check out Thank You. And it'll give you the first half of this year or last year, explaining who they are and a little information on that. And so today we're going to talk about since it was our birthday like a couple weeks ago, we can talk about what we've been doing since then, since the December one, and talk about who's been on. So if you're new here, you can like, oh, this is who I want to go check out, or hey, that sounds like something I need to know about. Things like that. And then, hey, that episode's chaotic.
I don't know what episode you're specifically referring to as chaotic.
It's
I don't know what
definitely
you're
not the
talking
one
about.
with a different nameplate than the rest of them
I
with
mean, to be
human
fair though,
eyes.
some of them do have different nameplates, but that one in particular definitely stares into your soul as I look at it on Spotify. It haunts my dreams, Adrian.
Well, we're here to create nightmares, apparently.
Oh,
So,
man.
yeah, I think in talking about that episode, let's talk about the one of the two guests that we bring onto that episode, which is Tanner Haynes. He was one of my first DMs, and we just talked about how brothel stories about his campaign and his experience with my character. And it kind of showed a light that like there was some stuff that I didn't know was going on in the background that was just surprising for me to just revel in. But it was super fun. So it was just a lot of backstory about me and him and our relationship.
That's fair. I do love Tanner because Tanner just creates this level of chaos, and I love it's a different chaos than than Skylar brings.
Right.
Like Skylar, I feed my like ADHD energy with, but just Tanner is just pure chaos, and I love it.
Right. I mean, that's I think that I've definitely brought that into my campaign, this chaos element, because
I
without
think you
having
have,
that.
but I don't think you have as well as Tanner has.
No, definitely not. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, Tanner doesn't give a fuck. Tanner gives 0 fuck. I mean, like, if you could give less fucks, that would be Tanner.
I mean, like I said, an element, not like the whole caboodle, the whole picture of the chaos. I got like a shot glass worth of chaos. Okay.
So,
um,
like, Tanner is a decanter, and you are just the little, like, the
yeah.
whiskey on the rocks
Hmm.
version of
One finger, just
yeah,
a really just conservative amount of alcohol chaos. Alcohol chaos. I need a drink, anyways.
yeah. So, like, if you need to figure out how to kill off your players or, put the fear of any sort of god in them, episode 22 with Tanner Hayes.
Heck yeah. Episode 23 was just Adrian's origin story of how he became a DM and played Dungeons and Dragons with like his first real DM. Fun fact about that episode. Yeah, it had Tanner's name on it originally because when I copied and pasted, special guest Tanner Haynes twice in a row instead of Daniel Draper.
No.
And one of Tanner's friends like, "Hey, I don't remember Tanner sounding like that. I want to just let you know you might have some audio problems, like, so I looked at it,
I
I'm
just
like,
like that
"Oh."
whatever it was, they were like, "I don't know if Tanner sounds like that. It may be audio." It's not that it was a wrong person at all. It was just that it
They
could
were
be audio.
definitely they were definitely joking with me. They were really just pulling on my chain. But yeah, Daniel Draper, I still hang out with him. We played a game or two of D&D in the past 6 months, but, you know, here and there, we have other games we play together with, just online stuff. But yeah, Adrian's origin story, an experience of, like, we didn't know the rules, and we rolled with it and we figured it out, and collectively we became better players. And not knowing the rules and starting off playing is okay, especially with a bunch of new players, because you're going to learn together. I think that's the moral of that story, of episode 23.
I think yeah. I'm surprised that nobody really came out super rules lawyery in that situation. Just like that feels like the time if you're all playing Dungeons and Dragons for the first time,
Hmm.
and I feel like that's the story where the rules lawyer should be bored.
Right. I think we we kind of got into that with other campaigns in that early, but we didn't really talk about it because, man, that's not going to shine a good light on us. But yeah, I think it was definitely fun to have talk to him about D&D again. But just, that's the main experience, was like just nostalgia for me. But yeah, with Josiah in the next episode, we essentially talked about homebrew stuff and attacking players, and having that sense of urgency. It was a really good time. And we set out to do three things and we were able to do two, with just, like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's what happens. We run over time. We just start talking and it just doesn't stop. I think that, with just how we kind of learned about splitting the party, you talked about your experience with splitting the party, and slowly but surely we talk about trying to kill a player because Adrian hadn't killed a player yet.
Mm.
It's getting there. Oh my gosh, I can't
Mm.
believe how many episodes that we've done. Sometimes. Kelsey.
Are they gonna be tired? Do you think our listeners are gonna be tired of listening to us, like, pat ourselves on the back? Just,
About
like,
what?
how
About having
amazing we
fun?
are and all the episodes and all the different guests and all the different
Well,
content
I
great.
mean, the viewers at this point will know what they're going, so they're either gone or they're here. That's all I
We
know.
look, we just talked about this being new listener friendly, and I guess maybe this is a quick synopsis of what everything you could experience in any episode of Dungeons and Degrees.
Yeah, it's a lot more chaos when we add a returning guest. That's all I know from
Oh,
our experiences. Returning guests equal chaos. Like special guests, which means like their premiere on the podcast, very formal, very like, this is what I'm talking about, this is why we're here. And we say, anyone who's willing to come back, chaos. And I love
absolute
it.
absolutely chaos.
Hmm. Episode 25 with Kelsey Dion, the author or curator of the Arcane Library. She talks about minimalism and talking about Gary Kahn, some things that I didn't even know about. Just, slowly learning about all these things because all I know is just the books. I didn't know about like all the conventions and everything that's out there. So it was really nice to kind of be introduced to that world through Kelsey's lens.
I remember thinking that episode, I was like, "Yeah, we're definitely gonna be able to do a convention, like, that's in our near future, we could go back and do that."
We were hopeful because it was about to come on a
Oh
year.
my god, it shoulda yeah, it should've I just feel like the entire world let us down.
And we're back to burning again.
Yay! How do you have any did you take any minimalism from I don't know why I laugh. I don't mean to laugh, Kelsey. If you are still listening, I'm not laughing at minimalism. I applaud you. Do you do anything do you strive to be minimalistic in any way?
I mean, I stop. I'm trying. I'm in this Discord with a bunch of 20-something year olds that are younger than me, and I all I do is say, Please stop buying all those dice. Like that's the closest I got to minimalism. Just to minimize the impact they have like on their wallets. You know, right now I've kind of like limited myself to stop buying so much stuff as well because I have so much content to read already, so many D&D books because I just like that tactile feeling. Um, Other than that, I try to right now. I mean, I don't think this counts much, but I'm trying to clear out the cupboard. Am I like
Ooh.
all these dry goods, all these spices that are just like piling up, and like I haven't even seen the back of the cupboard in forever. So let's try to like knock this stuff out before I buy anything new, or like more dry goods for sure. So that's the closest I've got.
So are you doing a dumping situation, or are you doing, like, a cutthroat kitchen situation?
What do you mean cutthroat?
Uh, you just grab whatever ingredients and you throw it together and you try to make a dish.
Oh no, not like that. I mean,
No?
like if I need one item to make something from the dry goods, I'll buy it. But then I'm at least using the stuff that I haven't been using because of all the takeout and things that I want to cook that day. It's like no,
Mm.
let's center myself around what's there, and then we'll add if it's like one or two things, let's do it. But if it's more than that, maybe we can find a different recipe or something like that. So that's what I've been doing. I have a bunch of my old like reusing old blankets from my childhood. Not blankets, like comforters. Slowly getting holes from the dog because she's got claws.
Well, see, then that's the circle of life, is you get a comforter, you use it for a while as a human, and then you give it to your dog.
Right, right.
That is the life cycle of our pillows.
I was trying to like not where it was getting broken, like, but the stuffing is just all over the floor now on the blanket. I just need to just throw it on her what's it called?
Her bed.
Her bed. Yes, thank you.
Oh, man. No, that's whenever something starts getting a little not I don't do ratty anymore.
Mhm.
I'm out of that phase where anything is ratty, but it definitely goes to the dogs. And then it gets so if it's like a towel or something, then it gets
Mhm.
shredded down into, like, hand towels for, like, washing the car or whatever.
Right, right.
So, you're using it, but I totally had something and I completely forgot. We were talking about minimalism.
Mhm. Was it about dice? Was it about your Kickstarter addiction? Just to throw you out there.
It's so I'm much better at it now because I
Mhm.
realize that I am still buying things under the
Mhm.
guise that I'm helping somebody else, but I am more likely to still fund something that has already been funded because I
Mhm.
know I'm gonna be getting a thing afterwards.
Right.
Is that helping? Is that the real idea behind Kickstarter? I don't know. Should I just be going to the store and leaving my house to get the thing? Maybe. Um, we'll find out. But oh, that's what I do. I discovered as a teacher, I know how this is going to sound. I discovered the public library.
What do you mean by that?
The public library is a place where you can get books
Well, I
and books that
okay.
you're only going to read one time and that can go to a shelf where somebody else is going to read them and
Right,
not necessarily on a shelf to die where nobody touches them.
right.
And then when you move 3 times with them, at that point they go to half price books.
Mhm.
So when you're tired of moving them from
So when you say discovered, you've always known about libraries, but you're just now implementing that ability kind of thing.
Yes, Adrian, I knew what the
You
library
use
was
the word
before.
discovered like like
I mean,
Christopher Columbus, like, "I discovered the library! Where did this come from?"
I did use it very colonizer like. Oh no.
Listen, for
No.
all you for all people who can't buy books, I found this cool thing called the library.
Oh no.
Would you okay, just I know we're getting off topic, but, it's our podcast, fuck it. Did okay, I mean, did you ever do, like, reading competitions back in the day? for your like local library?
No.
Oh, okay.
I we didn't so we lived very far away from where the libraries are now
Mhm.
or were.
Right.
So, um, I grew up in North Plano or North Dallas and
Mhm.
Plano and East Plano. Where my dad's house was and still is very far away. And when I mean very far away, I mean like a 20-minute drive.
Right.
So like relatively. And my parents just our school library was really good. So I just read the school library, and then during the summer, we had a stash of books. Once I hit 4th or 5th grade, Harry Potter was coming out over the summer, so then I had Harry Potter all summer, right? So I could sustain my reading addiction with my school library. I didn't really know the public library. I don't know where I know where one of them is. 2
Mm.
of them are in Plano. One of them, because I took my sister when I was able to drive, she needed to be able to read, and I was like, "I'm gonna be the big sister that gets my sister a library card, and we're gonna do the library card." That did not sustain because I was in college at that time. And then I know where another library is because I volunteered there when I worked at UT Dallas. So, like, in the last 2 years, I found out where this place was.
Mhm.
So, like, public library, no,
Right. Okay.
but, like, school libraries, yes.
I think like you either got like an ice cream for doing those public library little bookathon things or a little personal pan pizza. I don't remember
This
that.
I got an email from one of our I think Frisco was doing somebody was doing even just for adults too, like, it was a children's readathon and then, like, an adult readathon, and if
Mhm.
you were an adult, there were, like it seemed to be more geared more teachers because it was, like, curriculum stuff or, like, books, and then for all the kids, it was more books, but, I have gotten my first Scholastic book order form. I'm sending it out on Thursday.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell
I'm
yeah.
so excited. I love Scholastic Book Fair. I loved it. I remember I don't know if this is gonna age me, probably. I remember when Captain Underpants, like, was a new book
I
at the
remember that.
Scholastic Book Fair. Do you
Yeah. It was a little flipomatic.
Yeah, when it was new, though?
I mean, maybe. I was young and it had a guy with underpants on it. Like, how
I
old
mean,
are you?
I just remember, like, it being new, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe, like, it's got a it's a comic book and he has underpants," and you're like, "Oh my god." I just remember, like, the first one. Anyways, that's where I just loved it, and then I remember getting bookmarks and erasers,
All right.
but
Originally published 1997, September 1st. Okay, maybe. Well, that
yeah,
was like
a
3.
wee babe.
I don't remember that
It
much.
wasn't at the Scholastic Book Fair for you.
I think I guess it came out with multiple books. I'm looking up the
Yeah,
second book
no, there's
right
a
now.
series.
So 1999. So like 2 years in between. So like potentially at that point, I remember like being very small and seeing it. So I don't think I forgot was there at the first release, but definitely like the second book. Or second or third, one of those two.
Now that he has a series called Dog Man,
Yes, I saw
so
that,
kids like Dog Man now.
which is nice.
Yeah, it's
I've
great.
never read it, so I can't tell if it's like better humor or it's the same on par like weird kid humor.
I love weird kid humor. Oh, man. So, yeah, I discovered the library, and I don't have to potentially purchase books, but instead borrow them a la Once Upon a Time Netflix and then return them.
Right. I remember Netflix being a mail order thing. That was weird. It was cool. It's weird to think that that's what all it was at the beginning.
Right? And that we just mailed them like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
US Postal Service. I just popped it in. I have one copy that did not make it back. I still have, I think, disc 2 of the Next Generation. I don't know what season, I just have it somewhere, but
Gotcha.
I never watched it. It's in the little Netflix package. This is not the talk this we don't talk about minimalism at all. I still have a hoarder, I'm a hoarder.
I mean,
Or it's history, I don't know.
I have like all my books that I've had from like high school and college sitting right there in my, and I've lugged it around multiple houses at this point, and I
Mhm.
still have that stuff. Like to be honest, like moving here, like I knew all the things that I have, like my drawers, my desk, my shelves on their last leg because they cannot hold up another move. Like they are falling apart.
It's that college furniture.
It's IKEA. It's
I
IKEA.
know, but it's like college.
Yeah, it definitely was. Um, we're gonna be here for 2 hours recanting everything.
Ah, that's okay.
Here, I'll just what the game is was just my spiel about what I thought D&D was because I heard a bunch of stories about like this is what D&D is supposed to be. This is what D&D is supposed to be. So it was my spiel on what it should have been. So like putting my 2 cents there down.
We can skip Lubicon because we talk about Lubicon, it's great and wonderful. Is episode 20 this is why I wanna skip it. Is episode 28 the first time we talked to Lee?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we only talked to Lee twice.
I I feel like Lee has been a staple in my life forever. Did did you see that they're changing their Insta hang all of their social media tags?
I heard about it. They kind of did a, I think it was an Instagram story,
Yeah,
and
a
they're
question
looking
box.
for, yeah, exactly. I think I saw our little Dune Degrees podcast thing in the list.
I didn't see that. I'm very sad. I'm looking now.
See if you can find it.
No. It's just the
It was a while
it
back.
was the stuff yesterday, I think.
So yeah, Lee's been wonderful, as well as like it was just me looking for someone to commission art, and I'm like, I love their style. I want that to be the poster for my people's characters and all that stuff. So it was wonderful that they did that for a price.
I mean,
About, and I tipped, and they
worth
were like,
worth it.
"What?" They were like, "What? Are you sure about this tip?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't
Adrian, are you
know,
a generalist?
gen a
Are you
generous
a
tipper,
generous tipper?
20% across the board."
Ooh,
And that art piece was redacted. That was because that was before I bought a car. So,
that's
oh,
fair.
anyways, their identity and their kind of the social situations that they had to go through in game to kind of figure out who they were was just very awesome because we kind of talked about that with Lee.
I feel like that was the first time I really felt, like, the emotional connection with role playing in general.
Hmm.
Like, we've talked about it happening, but that was the real first time that I was like, "Oh, no, it really does. I'm not the only person that can think that." And, we have this what then was a stranger across the pond, but now is a, fangirl moment.
You simp.
I don't know. Lee, please
You
don't.
say it would never. I don't know.
I would never I don't know. I feel like I fangirl too much
I
to be
just
like,
protest too much.
"They're my friends,
Yeah.
but, like, I'm here and I wanna, like, kick their neighbor's ass.
Yep.
I wanna do all of that, but I'm like, "No, hold on. Is this, like, Lady Gaga paparazzi or am I a friend?"
Am I fanning or am I a friend?
I need that song now, thank you.
Somebody will figure that out. But yeah, we'll talk
Am
about
I a
Lee.
friend or am I a fangirl?
There, you got the
This is
chorus.
what happens. We have no script and we have nobody else. It's karaoke time with Adrian and Alex.
No one can stop us from doing what we want. That's gonna be horrible to edit. Why did I do that to myself?
That's okay.
We'll talk about Lee. some more in a bit when we do the other episode where we kind of go crazy. That's not. Yeah, we kind of lose it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Never.
The second the second episode we kind of. Anyways, next we have episode 29 with Dana. They talk about
Just like a tiny baby author who is so sure of themselves, and it was really neat, but also,
very young individual with inspiration just out the wazoo.
ooh, yeah, so excited, not jaded.
Essentially, the youth of Dana was just like powering through that episode and just, you know, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is my inspiration. Like, just full force and like, yeah, Manimal. This is a lot. Like,
Yep.
it was wonderful. And I've been trying to get a time slot for to like play a one shot with
Hmm.
Dana and anyone Dana chooses essentially in the same time zone. But we couldn't figure out a time period because it just happened. It just
Well,
came and
especially when we're
go.
talking about just everybody living in the same town and trying to play D&D,
Hmm.
that's almost impossible. Now we're throwing in time differences and then university.
Hmm. It's a lot to consider and to put into play. But yeah, it was a good time, especially working with time zones. I mean, because Dana goes to college, but also when Dana goes home, they're in. I want to say, she told me where,
She also plays like a lot of games too, right?
right? And she does a bunch. She does her own podcast,
Hmm.
so it's a good time. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It was a fun time.
It was a fun time.
It was the funs of times. It was the worst of times.
Speaking
Right?
of the worst of times, episode 30
What is it? Hold up.
features our besties,
Oh,
Justin and John,
yes,
fish,
they are a
officials.
hoot and a
Fuck my
holler.
campaign.
Yes, and I don't know why, but I think it was like one of the. I mean, we laugh a lot. We we laugh on this podcast. Oh, a jape. And I think we just lost it in the explanation of what had gone down in this like it was like a session between sessions because I think somebody wasn't gonna make it and they're just like messing around with the characters and it
That
went to
was just
hell
a way to
fast.
fuck around with your DM.
Right,
That's
but they
the
had
loop, like the
fun.
magic loophole.
Right, right, right. Yeah. And they had so much fun and it was a good time for them both. And I just thought it was just so fun. And I got to play with them later down this year. So it was a good time. I got at least I think yeah, I only got to play with John, not
You didn't play. You played
Justin.
with Justin.
Oh yeah, I was the DM.
You played. Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Thanks,
fun.
bro.
You're welcome, bro. Glad we have this understanding, bro. Okay, this one you're not gonna know anything about because
Mm-mm.
it was just me and Blue Tuesdays. Yeah, we talked about his game called Parslings and the inspiration. And Blue was like, I actually don't like games with dice. So I want to make a game that, deals with cards and stuff and, different kind of medium. So having that conversation, talking about words and what their meanings are, especially like kind of like going into like your own personal life. We kind of talked about that. And it was great. It was wonderful. And, I felt like I got to know what the game was about and was able to like, you know, kind of feel inspired because creating a game with all these rule sets and everything is just so daunting. And we've interviewed with Ian and Blue now for these two games that they're creating, and it's really cool stuff. Like how much like what's it called authenticity, but as well as like drive they have or
Yeah.
passion for their creation. There we go.
And then all of the levels that they're thinking and considering while making a game, and then
Hmm.
nope. Once again, like writing stories and making games are two things that I just will pass off on somebody else. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Episode 32 with Alex and Alex. She was just so inspired by her campaign, her homebrew and
Mhm.
everything, and things that like I as a DM had not been able to do, like adding so much homebrew stuff. And part of me is like afraid that I'm gonna mess something up and make something overpowered. But I think the party that I have is very understanding and like, hey, look, this is a test run. I just made this up. We're gonna figure out if this works or if it totally fucks my campaign. And having Alex was just, look, I made 6 different like great races and classes, and this is all homebrew, and it's crazy. And there's a cartoon in this campaign, and I'm like, this is a lot.
A
I don't
magical
know if I could
girl
stand this.
class.
I just felt like it was so much to take on as a DM, and I just couldn't understand how. But I mean, she's young, and she's
Yeah.
got a lot of energy, so I'm gonna let her have that.
Yep, she did. She had a lot of energy. She was excited.
Hmm.
She was real excited.
Oh yeah. Episode 33
Mhm.
with Rick Perry, not Governor. That was a fun time.
Once again, just fangirling about set design
Hmm.
and basic table architecture.
Right. What to consider, where the camera's gonna be, how close they need, how much space, can they all reach the board, all these things. Really cool.
I'm still obsessed with that table. I think about it regularly.
But also like fuck turfs, right?
Right?
Right? But yeah, that was the second step into the Dimension 20 Pantheon because previously we had Mike Trap. Slowly but surely,
One
we're
by
getting
one.
there. Mhm, mhm.
Two by
Um
two hands of blue.
All right, episode 34, Doctors and Dragons. We talk with Dr. Coffee and talk about like their publications in nerddom, and it's like so cool.
That was a good one for you.
Oh yeah, it made me yeah, especially with like a title like to see what I could potentially be doing in the field. And not all of this is going to go to waste, mom. Okay? I didn't play video games for nothing, okay? I'm putting this forward to something, mom.
It's like the combination of the video game playing and the psychology degree.
Right. It was just it's exactly our shtick.
It is.
But I'm reading the title again, and it's "You're woozy from the vaccine."
I will admit, and I'll give you this compliment. I don't think I have. I think I've thought about it, but I have not like
Verbalized it. Yeah.
verbalized it with you. You're really good at writing descriptions
Oh yeah.
and giving them title names.
Oh, I take pride in my title names. I like my title names. My descriptions are like a hit and miss, and I'm just like, dude, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. I'm so done.
Oh, that's what I was thinking about when we were talking about Alex
Hmm.
and we're talking about her homebrew. And I think the biggest thing that we forget, because I do it as a teacher, and this is the biggest like piece that I get almost anytime I feel overwhelmed and I feel bad about not doing a lesson the way I wanted to or doing whatever. Honestly, your players don't know what you know.
Hmm.
So they don't know how much work you've put in the back. They don't know any of that. So if they are having a good time and you see that and you can identify that, then that's really the only takeaway. It's not that like, oh, I could have done this better. Oh, I could have done that better. It really needs to just be like, who cares what they don't know? This is what they do know. They're enjoying it. Great. You know?
Hmm.
You know? That's it.
You gotta finish that chicken nugget because we're about to get to episode 35.
I love episode 35.
But yeah, okay. So returning guest Lauren and Tanner, and we talked about partners in D&D, those who play and those who don't, and it just went, it just went crazy. It
It
just
went
went
buck wild.
crazy.
It went buck wild. I mean, it's the appropriate time to say that word.
Yeah, it was
Buck wild.
it was fucking crazy. It was fun, but it was
Once again, the returning guest thing.
right, exactly.
Yeah. And Lauren, I guess Lauren for us was 3 times, but Lauren for viewers,
Right.
2
Was
times
2. Right.
because we lost that
Yeah.
first recording that we did with her.
It's been so long ago that I do not remember what exactly happened and why it did happen that way.
That was, like, eons ago.
Right. It was when I was chilling in the apartments near my house. Long,
Mhm.
long ago. But yeah, look, all I'm gonna say about that episode, chaos, just just ridiculous, but I absolutely loved that episode because of the people we were with and just the everyone was just like adding on to the hilarity one step at a time. It was a good time. It was a good time. You got anything else to say about it?
No, I'm just looking ahead.
Gotcha. All right. Conversation with blood. I'll be real. This is one of the ones that was interesting for me as a DM because it was one of the players that I had to homebrew for the most. And I wanted to see his perspective on how I did these things. I will say in later episodes we kind of I talk about him again, but he was one of the players
Is he
that
a
I had to
listener?
huh?
Is he a listener?
I don't know. But he was one of the players that I had to remove.
Did we did we acknowledge that on this podcast?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So
I don't
like
know. That
as
feels
you can
weird.
it does. It does. And it was just like, as you can see in the podcast, like I wanted to work with him as much as I could. But things just kind of got hot and heavy.
I
and
think and especially knowing, like, the background of your relationship and how you felt about everything that was happening, I think you put forth a valiant effort to make sure that your player felt accommodated.
mhm.
But I could also see and identify the ways that, I mean, at that point, you were going above and beyond, I think, what other DMs would do
Right.
and take and handle. And
Right. And it wasn't just my efforts as well cuz like I had the help of my players who were like also, seeing kind of like what I was doing and like knowing that I just wanted everybody to be a part of everything, and in the end, it was just like it never was enough. Anything I did, like and I wanted to be amicable, and I brought him onto the podcast, and I wanted to talk with him. Some people would just say like, delete it, but I think it's just it is what it is now, and it kind of shows like kind of how I tried my best to work with every single player, but what we have here is a failure to communicate.
I think I like you dodging the compliment that I gave you that you are a good DM. That is the takeaway right now. That complimented you, and you were like, "No, it's me and my player."
I
Bitch,
okay,
please.
it's
If that
hard.
was
We still
anybody
working on it.
else, they'd be like, "Okay, this is my like, this is my game. You do have to play referee. Like,
Mhm.
give them the red card and eject them out of the fucking game."
True.
And, like, all the other players would be like, "Yeah, like, we support you no matter what."
Mhm.
So, just just accept the compliment.
Thank you
Love
for
you.
calling me a good DM. I appreciate the compliment. I know that some other DMs would take it a different way. I did not, and that is a valiant effort, and I appreciate you pointing that out. I know that it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but it's really hard for me as an individual to process compliments, and this is just how I do these things to make sure that you know that I do appreciate it, even though I dodge it immediately.
How's that therapy going, Adrian?
I'm the one. I don't have therapy. I don't. I just know what I should do. Like, I can remove myself from a situation and say, "This is what you should do." But literally when I come back into my body, it's like, "Fuck that guy that was outside of my body. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know me," even though it is me, but but yeah,
That's fair.
it's tough.
You
It's
have
tough
mo
to
you
do.
have, like, the parent mode, like, you go into parent mode when it's somebody else's problem, but
Mhm.
as soon as it applies to you, you're like, "I don't know."
I've seen that. I mean, I see that all the time when, like, people will give, like, advice, but then won't follow their own
Oh,
advice.
yeah. No, I absolutely am capable of handling everybody else's emotional baggage, understanding why things happen, what's the trigger, what is all until it comes to me.
Right, right.
Absolutely 10 every time. I can't even complete words or sentences or phrases with that. Cannot. I would do that at parties too. I wonder I mean, I have a
Do we
feeling
want a
I know
session
why.
right now? What's going on?
I don't know. But no, I used to do that, like, at
Oh no, I'm
parties.
under attack. Walls, walls, walls.
I used to do that at parties if I
Mhm.
saw somebody who was, like, in crisis because I feel like college parties are nothing but, like, teenage crises or young adult crises,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's be
The
honest.
college has the teenagers in it. Oh,
Yeah.
18? That's it. Just
No,
18-year-olds
but
across the
look,
board.
I'm not saying that they're, like, 16, 17-year-olds. What
Right,
I'm
right,
saying
right.
is that that's the level of the petty drama.
Mhm.
It's some high school
Bullshit.
teenager bullshit, okay?
Right.
He brought another girl to this party and my life is ruined.
Yeah.
That
What?
was a personal story. I didn't even realize what I was saying.
You're just vocalizing yourself.
No, I was not crying. I was the girl that was brought to the party that had to console the person who was crying about
Right.
me being at the
Being at
party.
I like how it hits you like a frying pan, just that was me! I was that bitch.
I still help, like, that's the level of help that I have. I still had the girl who was crying about me bringing, her ex-boyfriend bringing me to the party, and I was helping her through that crisis.
Mhm.
And then she had the audacity to tell me I was a terrible person.
Ay.
Bitch. It's fine.
Yeah.
She's doing great. She's doing great, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna put it out there. She's doing great.
Alright, awesome. Episode 37 with, 37 views,
Does it have 37 views?
yeah, it does. Okay,
Nobody
as
go
of
watch it.
now.
We're done listening. No,
Stop,
that was
stop, stop watching episode 37.
37 Days of 37.
Side gigs and old age with Lindsay. Yeah, that's self-explanatory.
It's you being a baby. It's you and it's you just living your baby life
Leave me alone!
with
I let you guys
Lindsay.
have your old people conversation, okay? What do you want me to do about it?
How the tables have turned that we're talking about having 2 babies on the podcast, and then you become the baby. Then Adrian is baby.
Oh, anyway,
Ooh,
so Lindsay created our background.
yes,
She's amazing.
amazing. Go check her out.
Mhm, mhm. Lindsay Creative.
Yep.
Also, anybody we talked about, go check them out.
Yeah, that was easy. Anybody. Episode 38.
What's episode 38?
I'm just saying. The next one is episode 38 when we talk to Scotty about his miniatures.
Oh, so cool. So
I
cool. Scotty,
know.
such a cool guy.
I really do like Scotty. I mean,
Yeah.
I like everybody. Let's put that on the table. But like, I don't know.
Well, you had a connection, a past connection. Like I kept, well, you had a connection with John and
I'm just bringing my friends on.
right. I mean that's like that's the start of the podcast. That's how we got our up and start. Okay, and then we started reaching out to other people. So like it's always nice to talk to people we know. I know might not be a conversation most of the viewers or listeners. Keep saying viewers. Most of the
Maybe they are
listeners want to
watching.
listen.
It's Big Brother.
What?
That's what you're talking about. You're talking about Big Brother whenever you say the viewers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've never watched Big Brother.
Neither have I.
Wait, why are you referencing?
I watch the like 2-minute video clips that are on Facebook that show the
Hmm.
like drama showdown. I don't know why, though. That's about all I can handle. Michael and his family love Big Brother.
Mm.
My family took the Survivor route.
Oh, okay.
I like Survivor.
So like I don't think I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
my family, but I don't remember what they did.
You don't remember your family?
Who was my parents?
What did they do anything?
I don't remember anything before this moment right now. What's
Do
going
you have a
on?
lot of childhood trauma?
I don't think so. I've thought about that sometimes.
Have you?
Yeah. I mean, like if it's really locked in there, I mean, I don't think I remember anything. You know, usually if it's locked in, it's like super traumatic. And I just think I was just a sad boy all the time, so it was just me inflicting my own self wounds. So,
You know, I have seen that depression tends to be an inhibitor of long-term memory. So there are periods of like my memory that I just do not have. We
mm,
can say it was depression, we can say it was chronic pain, but I have spans of time that I literally cannot remember, which is wild
right.
because I have, since I'm living in my childhood area, right? There's still people that I knew from high school. And sometimes whenever I meet up with them, they have conversations with me about things that I'm like 75% sure I was a part of. No fucking idea.
Mm,
None. None whatsoever. People, they're talking about people. I'm like, I sure, but I don't remember anything beyond like I might recognize that person because I feel like I saw them in classes, but I don't have any specific memories tied to what we talked about, what I did with them, or anything
hmm
in general. It's wild.
It is. It is quite crazy, my friend. I don't know. It just happens. The brain tries to save itself somehow, some way, and that's just the unfortunate truth.
Do not
I mean, like
appreciate.
with
That's not
super,
the way.
yeah, super, like with super traumatic events. That's how DID happens. Which is, I got into DID TikTok for a second, and it was like some nuts stuff. And they're
Yeah.
like, and it's not, I mean, like nuts as in like, I have never experienced it firsthand, not the trauma, but like an individual with that. So I was just very interested. So I kind of looked at all of that.
See, and I'm sad that found all of that after I talked to a student that had DID.
hmm
They identified it to me and I was like, "Okay, like I'm aware in why it's formed. I don't necessarily know how it shows itself in day-to-day life. I
hmm
don't know any appropriate terms. I don't know
Right.
anything else other than like all about Eve. Like that's really my level. That was my level of probably not relevant to anybody under the age of 85.
hmm
But now I feel like I would like to have a different conversation with them, but they are no longer in my student list.
Yeah, in your clutches. Okay.
No. But it was very, I mean, they had a lot of other things happening too. They had
hmm
family who did not agree or believe with what was going on and how much
hmm
trauma that really causes a person, especially when, you're still financially dependent or any sort of dependent on those people.
hmm
It's really hard.
Oh yeah. But now I know a little bit about that, so kind of prepared for if I ever have to not confront, but like interact with an individual through practice or personal social life. Yes, sorry, Scotty and his miniatures, and him inviting. I know. I just wanted to just. I don't know how much we kind of talked about it, to be honest, because we went on a whole tangent,
This is our
and
podcast.
yeah, and Scotty inviting us to like, hey, if we're ever in town, to come by, and we should once the personal pan pizza is over.
I just want a different flavor. At this point, just give me a different flavor.
Oops, I can't
Not a
say.
Delta. I don't need a Delta pizza. I need something
Can we
different.
get a beta, please? Just something very weak.
Do you remember when like the flu shot was the only thing we had to worry about?
Sorta. Uh,
That's
I
fine.
mean, I didn't take my flu shot every year.
But you were like a baby college student, so that
Yeah. There was one time that the I was at the pharmacy picking up my meds, and like, "Do you want the flu shot? It's free." And I'm like, "Hey, why not? I'm here." They just bah, and I'm like, "Okay, bye." It's very college-esque of me. It's like,
that
"Hey,
was
did you just
very,
say
yeah.
free? Sign me up, buddy. Give me that free T-shirt. Let's go."
Let me be honest, I only got my flu shots regularly if they came to my work So while I was at tech, it was always on
Mhm.
campus, so they were like, "Alright, here, it's flu shot time, like, go take your 30 minutes and go get your flu shot and then come back," and you're like, "Okay, cool. It's here, I'm here, I don't have to work.
Right.
Let's go."
Heck yeah.
That was it. We
Oh,
still didn't
that's
talk about Scotty.
I we did. I talked about
Oh, we
seeing
did,
him in San
yeah, okay.
Antonio.
Go San Antonio.
It's your person. I don't know how much you guys talked. Okay, we talked about his one shot kind of group. We talked about him trying to branch out. We talked about, hey guys, I swear I said this was gonna be a short episode. It's not. Adrian, good luck on the editing, you idiot. Fucker. This is Adrian on the editing room floor. Fuck you, past Adrian. You should have just kept on task. I hate you. It is 5 hours before you have to put this thing up. Fuck you.
We did
Someone
say it was
clip
gonna
that.
be short.
I know, but we just get sidetracked. Anthony
What?
Joyce, episode 39, to create with emotion. We talked
With
about.
Dave. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Dave was on there.
Mhm.
I forgot. We talked because Dave was getting into the DMs Guild, kind of making content, and currently I am working with Dave to make content as well. So hopefully
Yay!
you'll see some of that soon. Out-
Also, I don't suggest listening to that episode if you've just recently lost a parent or anybody in your life, because that was right after, and
Mhm.
I realized that was Anthony and I talked about.
Yeah, and also a lost child as well.
Mhm.
So
So, if you
sure,
have any of those, maybe avoid that episode
maybe
until
I should put a trigger warning.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's that bad. I just you know, I don't know if we talked about it on that episode, but right after my dad passed away, Raya came free on Disney Plus,
Uh huh.
and I was like, "Oh, I'm in the sads. Let me just turn to Disney and avoid the trope of one parent being gone and then the other one tragically not being here anymore in whatever way, shape, or form." Ignored that, even though I know that's what happens.
That's a Disney formula right there.
That is a
You're
dis I
walking
mean,
right
then you don't
into
have to
it.
explain anybody. There's a dramatic backstory. And you're like,
Mhm.
"Okay, anything that happens from here on out, I totally understand." She loses her dad within the first, like not like he's not gone forever, but, like, she loses her dad within the first, like, 15 minutes of the movie, and I was, like, not here for that.
Did you turn it off or did you watch the rest?
I watched the rest.
No.
I love Aquafina. I love
Aquafina's pretty
Aquafina.
dope. Yes.
So that's what I was looking forward to, and I was just so tired that I didn't have the energy, I didn't have the spoons to go and switch it,
Yeah,
but
that'll happen.
I love that we talk about my trauma on this podcast.
Hey, it's not like I bring it up every time. I
It's
only
fine.
bring it up during game sessions.
That's fair. When it's out to share.
Jasmine. Episode 40.
Episode 40.
We talk about, oh, not Haberdash. Hold up.
Hammond's.
Hamun's
Hammond.
Harvesting Handbook. Yeah, sorry. I thought you said Hyman. I'm like, that's not right.
It's
Hold
not
up. Let
Hyman.
me read
I do
it.
have a friend with the last name of Hyman.
Hmm.
Hi,
I've
Morgan, if you listen.
oh, it's called individuals named Jamie, but in a Hispanic family, it's like Jaime. That was in high school. I don't remember that. Anyways, Jasmine talking about her book and how she created it, and it just was very nostalgic for me talking about doing a campaign like that. And she was just, it was great. Like she got into her campaign, and I was getting excited for her campaign, and I was like, yes, I love this. And also her next work coming up and all that stuff.
Yay.
I'm excited. But yeah, go check out Jasmine's work on the DMs Guild. It's 150 pages, okay,
Very
of
cool.
content. It's worth it. If you got your players that are just like, hey, I want to check out everything, you can check out everything. Go check that out. Let's see.
Episode 41.
Oh,
Our
yes.
next on our kill list.
Yes. Erin has a theme talking about editing and music and her own game on the Discord of the Dropout Discord and all that cool stuff. Just us geeking out about all the cool things and bird facts and
Editing Dimension 20 and how that
hmm
looks. It's
hmm
very
and
cool.
how she became from how she started like with Harmontown and how she kind of like grew into where she is right now, which is awesome. I don't know. Listening to people's journey kind of inspires myself, and it's just wonderful. I always love a good backstory. I mean, I think that's just the GM in me. And it's like, heck yeah, dude. I get you. I understand. And then for characters, it's like, yeah, easy trauma. Let's go.
I think it's also interesting because, like we've said a couple of times, like Dimension 20 feels like it's such a staple at this point in any sort of Dungeons and Dragons. And so it feels surreal talking to somebody who that's their life, that's what they do, that's their
Hmm.
job. Like they get
Right.
to just create that magic for a lot of people. And so hearing how you get involved, and it sounds so mundane. Like
Right.
the way they've gotten into it, both
Right.
Rick and
Aaron.
Aaron, thank you. Both Rick and Aaron, it just seems like it was like a normal progression of how
Yeah,
you
that
would
friend.
go through. Yeah.
They said
Like
to come work, and I said okay.
yeah.
And now we're here.
I just did the thing and then I did the other thing and then magically I'm viewed by millions and thousands and I guess the thousands and millions or whatever. I've always done that. I've always put it like greater and then least. I don't know why. Anyways,
Yeah, so three down. I don't know. I need an actual list. I need to get a, a list of
a kill
corkboard.
list. You do a hit
I'll
list.
yeah, I'll put it like in the background so that way, and you just see red X's just growing across the board.
So when we start streaming, that's what's going to be in your background, and
Hmm.
then just don't explain it unless they've listened to all of these episodes. They will never
Why does
know.
it look like there's a hit on somebody? Well, you're just gonna have to go through the podcast to find out. Okay, that's not my job.
It's not my job to explain what I already do.
I already explained it in my podcast. If you support me,
Oh no.
um, justice.
Justice.
We talked about time management there.
Yep.
Something we were afraid to talk about today.
This is us avoiding. This whole podcast, this whole episode right here is us avoiding talking about time management, which is something that both of us are procrastinating on doing in our lives.
But yeah, go if you. We already did an episode on it, so go listen to that and not this one.
Where we were hopeful and had an idea of what we were doing.
Right. But yeah, it was really cool seeing that transition of him in the field and him going full time into Beatles and Grimm, which is just super cool.
I
I'm
think anybody just living their dream
hmm
is really cool to listen to.
yeah, their creative podcast, the creative process, and finally doing it full time and not like running and finding work everywhere.
Yeah,
I think
and,
it's
like,
awesome.
listen to somebody's journey on standing up to somebody that really could have played a bigger role or played a more dramatic role in their life, right? So, standing up to your parents and being like, "This is what I'm going to do," and, like, being successful at it and not just not fooling around.
Hmm.
It's really
Right.
fun.
And then 43. Oh, Brock.
Mhm. Mhm.
He's got a viral TikTok with some shapes and stuff. I don't think.
Ooh.
But I thought Brock's him having us on his podcast was awesome. Giving me a perspective of just doing something and then just letting it come out on its own, just not having to edit anything, felt good. 10 out of 10 would just let somebody else edit. Uh,
Sorry.
I know what I'm doing. I'm not talking about you, Alex.
I know you're not.
I have so much respect for other podcasters. So like all this, especially like Nat, the ones that have like thousands of patrons and all that stuff, like their music, their being able to edit, having it clean audio, like slowly but surely, I'm getting those skills. So, you know, watching Brock and he's like, "Hey, this is what I do. This is what we do." Like kind of networking our resources as well. And I think it was really fun. And then being able to like be there for him, and then if we ever need it, he can be there for us. Come back on all that stuff. Anything.
Because we make nothing but friends here. Friends on Dungeons and Degrees.
We're just building a small army.
That's fine. Then we can take out our big shots. Pew
Exactly.
pew 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Oh, what's this? Episode 44? What is they got?
Episode 44 is where we fangirl again, and then we openly admit about fangirling, though.
Alright, you're just talking about yourself.
It's coming out of the fangirl closet.
I love the art, okay? I
That's
love what
true.
Lee does.
Drew, yes. And once again, their closing of, losing a significant player on in their campaign.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a fun episode either.
The sentimental moments.
I love Lee, but we do have like it's very heavy. They're very heavy conversations,
Yeah.
emotional.
I mean, do you think that's, like, a cool part about D&D
No,
to
I
having these
think
connections?
yes, we have built a podcast around that.
It's so good. It's such a good podcast. You should
It is a
listen to
good
it.
pen. We should keep doing it. One would
We are.
say we should finish the last couple of episodes so then we can go to bed and not procrastinate anything else we're doing.
I'm staying up, but you do what you're gonna do.
I see. Look, I can't.
I
It's
know.
bedtime. I'm like,
I know you're almost out here. Okay, episode
okay, I'm
45
not
with
mad.
Dragna me, and his name's not Steven. Justin. Man.
Yes,
Um fanboy with Dragna
yeah, that's what it was.
and Alex tried to veer away from D&D and Dragna Carter brought it right back.
I do my best to veer us off the path.
Mhm.
Then nope.
That
But
man
see,
knew what he was gonna
I
talk
did
about.
start that episode thinking that like you and Dragna were just like we're just there for each other.
Mhm.
Justin got roped in, and then at the very end, I also get roped in. So charismatic to say the least.
Oh yeah, for
Our
sure.
dear Dragna Carter. Carta.
Mhm.
I've seen the Magna Carta in real life.
Oh, yeah? That's like a book, right? Or
It's like
or
what
like a piece of paper?
it's like a piece of paper. It's what our Bill of Rights is based off of.
Not me typing in Magna Carta
Yep,
images.
yep.
Okay, 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 okay. But yeah,
It's up you. Yeah, it's
very
all
good. Curse of
holy.
Strahd material. Go check it out. That
Yep,
one and Mendy Mod.
yep.
Look it up. Budding Inspiration. Did you like that title? I thought it was
I thought
clever.
it was funny. It's very good. It's very
Um,
because it's a plant pun.
mhm, mhm,
You did
mhm.
a pun there.
With Anna.
Yeah.
Hannah's budding inspiration. Really fun. Talking about plants. Talking about a little bit of Curse of Strahd stuff that I can't tell my players.
Mm.
I forbid them from watching that episode because I'm like, I'm going to use that, and now my players can't know about that. So
Just
fun
like,
stuff.
fuck you,
Also,
Adrian. We're gonna listen to that episode.
go check out the Kickstarter
Still going
if it's
on.
still going. I think there might be a couple days left because I keep seeing reports of like stretch goals being hit. So
I
go
think
hit
it's
those
in the
stretch goals.
middle of. I'm looking at it while we're talking, but I think
Hmm.
it's in the middle of September. So
Okay,
like actually a while from now. But I am logging in.
no worries. And then yeah, Anna was a fun time talking about all her stuff. Real quick note from the editing room. It is not on Kickstarter anymore because it's so long since we went on hiatus. So now just go to doubleproficiency.com, look up Herbalist Primer on their shop, their website, and it should be in print soon. The Kickstarter stuff is coming out shortly. I think within the first few months, so it might be some time. But definitely go check out any of their other stuff. Some of their cards, amazing stuff from Double Proficiency. All right, our last episode was with Sly Flourish. Brought in Skylar. Skylar immediately, like
Yep.
the next day, said, "Hey, Adrian, thank you. because he got in contact with Sly because he wanted him on his stuff too. So he has got an interview too. He's like, "Thanks for doing all the networking elbow grease," and I'm like,
Yep,
"Yeah,
that's what we
okay,
do.
right,
Also, going back to the
mm-hmm,
herbalist's primer, as of recording time, it has 22 days left, which is um, Friday, September 24th, 2021. So if it
so
is
I'll pro."
before Friday, September 24th, 2021, when you are listening to this episode, go check it out. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm,
It is
mm-hmm,
well past its funding goal. So there are all sorts of freebies,
right,
but yeah, beautiful.
but yeah, Sly Forge talked more about prepping as a DM and
Just running the game in general. And so,
mhm,
how do you connect with your players in different routes? And then, really getting the opportunity to talk to your players on a smaller basis and then changing up the group. So then you get to meet different parts of your players, which is really fun.
also
So,
implementing session zero, right?
yeah, yeah,
Things that I haven't done yet.
that's okay.
I'm learning.
I mean, we also talked about that that's not necessarily something you have to do.
Right.
So if you want to do a session zero, then totes do a session zero. If you don't feel like you want a session zero, then but see, here's the thing, Adrian.
Hmm.
You don't necessarily do a session zero, but you do have, I mean, you have an extensive survey,
Right.
an extensive Google form to find out your player's needs. So one could say that that is a session zero. Otherwise, you're playing with people that you know,
Hmm.
not like strangers.
Right.
And then all the people that you do play with, I assume, already tell you what the intention is, or you feel confident to tell them what the intention of the game is, or the story, or whatever it is that we're just here to play. And
Hmm.
I say we because I've been one of your players, but
Yay.
you know,
Thank you for being my player.
we just trust you. It's there, but like not playing with people that you maybe don't know or it's new. Session zero
Hmm.
or Google form.
Yeah. And,
Maybe just label it your session zero Google form.
but also like from talking and learning as a DM from like, this is like, I started like 2 Marches ago in playing this Curse of Strahd game, roughly. No, 1 March ago.
It
Two.
was
It's definitely been two.
technically 2, right? Because you
Yeah.
did the last one and you started in the first March.
Hmm. That's right. And I've learned so much doing this podcast as well as just talking to other individuals, but like having this experience, having these conversations really kind of making me a better DM as well as a better player. And I think that, you know, hey, if it helps me, maybe it'll help you. Maybe you're better than me and you're learning nothing, but hey, there's going to be an episode for you, okay? I'm going to find it. I'm going to find that thing you don't know and I'm going to bring it here.
If there's something you don't know and you need answered, please, once again, reach out to our Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or
Mhm.
anything
There's a
on our
little link
Discord.
below on the description where you
Wow.
can leave us messages.
Oh,
So, yeah.
I want a voice message. Can somebody
Yeah.
send us a voice? Just something like, Skylar, I know you're listening, bitch. Send us a voice message.
All right. We've called one of our guests a bitch. I think it's time to wrap this up.
Please. Gladly. He will gladly take it. Just kidding. Skylar, I love you.
Kisses. Mwah.
Oh, no, no. Thanks, though.
Ah, that hurt a lot. I just tried to do an okay sign and I poked my eye.
Don't do that.
Alex, wrap us up while I'm injured.
Thank you, dear listener, for joining us for another episode. While we procrastinate on our real life, maybe one day we'll have conversations that we really do need to have and not avoid and use this podcast as a place to avoid our real life. Probably not. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to reach out to us on any of our social medias. We would love to interact. You can also join us on our Discord. We are active. That's our goal, is to be active on our Discord, but we can only be active if we also have participation. Because otherwise, Adrian and I are just talking to ourselves, which we do once a week, anyways. If that's not enough for you and you're like, Alex, what else can I do? Well, dear listener, you can join us on our Patreon and help keep us funded. With your donation, we are able to relieve some of the burdens of financial stress. Just kidding. I mean, sort of. It's Patreon.
Yeah, it's Patreon.
It's Patreon.
Thank
But
you all patrons supporting us, by the way.
absolutely, 10 out of 10.
Mhm.
They never have a wet shoelace or wet jean day when it rains. Always. Every time it rains, they've got the right pants, the right shoes, never dealing with the old creeping up of the water on the back of your jeans. I don't Is that a problem anymore? I don't wear jeans like that, that if I'm stepping in puddles.
It's been a minute since I've stepped into a puddle,
Okay. Well, such with age.
such as yeah, less jeans or less puddles. We don't know.
No. So, thank you once again for joining us for another episode.
My name's Adrian.
And I'm Alex.
Go have some fun. Did I miss my part?
No,
Thank
I
you.
almost said my name is Adrian.